In 1982, a commission meeting was held, with one of the main points on the agenda being whether to murder longtime Gambino soldier Peter Tambone, a man whose life John Gotti's close friend Angelo Ruggiero had been begging Neil Dellacroce to spare. Let's check it out. Welcome to OC Shorts, bringing you detailed historical snapshots of the American Mafia and other organised crime. Feel free to subscribe if you like that sort of thing. Today we're going to check out longtime Gambino soldier Peter Tambone and take a look at why the commission met to decide whether to let him live or die. In the early 1980s, the organised crime strike force of New York City had bugged the Cedarhurst, Long Island home of Gambino soldier Angelo Ruggiero. The recordings picked up several conversations where Angelo Ruggiero was discussing with other mobsters how his friend Gambino soldier Peter Tambone's life was in danger. Tambone had ignored the Mafia's so-called ban on drug dealing. The concerns of Ruggiero are highlighted in a conversation with fellow soldier Gene Gotti. Him, Paul, and Chin, Vincent Gigante, made a pact. Any friend of ours that gets pinched for junk, or that they hear of anything about junk, they kill him. No administration meetings, no nothing, just go kill him. They're not warning nobody, not telling nobody because they feel the guy's gonna rat. And your brother says he meant that for Neil. As can be seen from the transcript, Ruggiero has every right to be fearful for his friend Peter Tambone. Due to the fact that the two most powerful bosses on the commission, Paul Castellano and Vincent Gigante, are united in their stance on how to handle made men involved in narcotics. There may be another reason why Ruggiero wanted to see a positive outcome for Tambone. Both he and Gene Gotti were heavily involved in heroin trafficking, and if they could get little Pete Tambone a pass, there may be hope for them if they get caught at a later date. In April 1982, John Gotti is summoned to Paul Castellano's house and given a contract to kill Peter Tambone. Gotti relayed the conversation to Ruggiero. Castellano told Gotti, "John, we got a bad problem with little Pete. You know, anybody that's straightened out who moves Babanya gets killed." Gotti replied, "Yeah, I know Paul, but little Pete, he's a grandfather." "Too bad, he knew the rules," Castellano coldly responded. Gotti told Castellano that he understood, but instead undermined his boss's wishes and went to see Neil Dellacroce, the underboss of the Gambino family, to see if he could intercede on Peter Tambone's behalf. Just prior to Gotti visiting Dellacroce, Ruggiero fills in Peter Tambone as to what's happening. Ruggiero: "John went to see Paul yesterday." Tambone: "I mean, that's a one-sided affair." Ruggiero: "That's what's happening. It's one way. That's what it looks like. They got it from a guy. A good fellow came in, he told a story, and that's what they're going on." Tambone: "Tell John what happened." Ruggiero: "We ain't gonna do nothing to you. No, ain't gonna do nothing. Yeah, we can't. I told Jeannie, I can't. I'm telling you, Pete, take off. You know what I'm saying? You know they're supposed to give us an answer by Wednesday or Thursday. You see, what's going through these fucking people's minds?" Pete: "I know the story. They don't know the story. What do you want from me?" Tambone: "They're bringing out..." Ruggiero: "No. They figure if you did it once, you did it 100 times. Tambone: "Let's say I did it." Pete: "What do you want from me? You don't know what the fuck I'm going through." Pete: "I'm going through so much over here, I feel like crying. I swear on my mother. Past remarks that I'm protecting you so much that they think I'm maybe your partner. All that was said is that you're a junk pusher. Somebody came forward and said that you push junk, that you gave them something. That's the worst thing." So, who exactly was Peter Tambone? Peter Salvatore Tambone, or Tambone, was known on the street as Little Pete. He was born in Brooklyn on the 23rd of November 1920. He had a criminal record dating back to when he was 18 in 1939, and throughout his early criminal career had arrests for policy, assault and battery, and violation of the federal narcotics laws. Tambone was known to be heavily into narcotics and was associated with mobsters such as Alexander Amorosa, Anthony Anichiricho, Giacinto Manarino, and Cristoforo Rubino. It was Cristoforo Rubino that was closest with Tambone. According to the Valachi hearing charts, Rubino was a soldier in the Perfacci family, but some believe that this may have been one of the several errors on these series of charts, such as when they had Carmine Persico listed as a soldier in the Genovese family. When Cristoforo Rubino married in Canada in 1938, future heroin kingpin John Aumento of the then Gagliano family was his best man, which leads some to suspect that Rubino was a member of what would eventually be known as the Lucchese family. Peter Tambone was sent away for 5 years in 1956 for narcotics violations, and whilst he was inside, his partner in narcotics trafficking, Cristoforo Rubino, was murdered in 1958. It is believed that in the 1950s, Tambone was officially inducted into the then Anastasia family. After his release from prison, Peter Little Pete Tambone continued in narcotics trafficking and also some bookmaking. And over the years, he was known to have developed close business relationships with individuals in other families, including Christopher Christy Tick Finari of the Lucchese family, as well as Gerry Langella and Alphonse Allie Boy Persico of the Colombos. It is also said that he was a mentor of some sorts to some of the young mobsters coming up in the Bergen crew, such as Angelo Ruggiero. And so, in 1982, it comes out that an elderly mobster called Frankie the Wop Gagliardi was the one who told Castellano that Tambone had breached the narcotics ban. As mentioned, John Gotti then goes to Neil Dellacroce to ask him to fight for Tambone's life. Gotti telling Dellacroce, "What kind of family are we, killing Pete?" "No drugs, John," Dellacroce responded. "Pete ain't no drug dealer. He was making for his family. I never saw Paul turn away a dirty dollar." When Gotti says that Tambone isn't a drug dealer, it's actually a reference to the fact that in the incident in question, Tambone had only dealt a small amount. With regards to Gotti's comment about Paul Castellano, this is in reference to the irony of the whole situation, in that Castellano was a hypocrite who was only too happy to take the drug money from the Sicilian mobsters in his family, known as the Cherry Hill Gambinos. Ruggiero then tells Gene Gotti about how he's going to plead with Neil Dellacroce, the Gambino family underboss. "I want to tell Neil, straight up and down, I don't know what Mr. John Gotti or what you think. I don't want to hurt this guy. I'm asking you for a favour. I don't want to hurt him." After John Gotti has seen Mr. Neil, Dellacroce then goes for a meeting with Castellano. Ruggiero relays to Eddie Lino, "I understand Neil had a bad argument with Paul." Castellano then decides that he's going to leave the fate of Little Pete up to the commission. On the surface, this seems unusual, as surely Castellano, as the boss of his own family, didn't need approval to whack one of his own soldiers. However, by some accounts, Peter Tambone had many business deals with other families which were profitable, and his murder might give Castellano a headache he doesn't want. And so, in 1982, the commission met, and a vote on Tambone's future was cast. At this point in time, the Bonanno family had been removed from the commission, and so there was only 4 families represented. It is unclear who exactly was in attendance at this meeting, but the vote ended in a 2-2 deadlock. Castellano of the Gambino family and the representative of the Genovese family voted in favour of killing Tambone, and the Lucchese and Colombo family voted against. It would appear that Little Pete's relationship with Lucchese family consigliere Christy Tick Finari, and also with Colombo underboss Gerry Langella and Colombo consigliere Allie Boy Persico may well have saved his life. And so there is still the matter of what to do with Peter Tambone. A decision is made to put him on the shelf, in other words, banishing him from the family. Ruggiero explains the decision to Little Pete. Ruggiero: I swear on my mother, it's all forgotten about. Tambone: Who'd want to do that for me? Things like this? Ruggiero: Let me tell you what happened, Pete. Everything is fine if I don't come near you. I said, Neil, listen. You got to do me a favour. I said, listen. I wanna say the guy's 1,000% wrong for what he did. There's no excuse. I know this guy 25 years. I know his family. I know his wife. And I know him. This guy's been in my mother's house. He's been at my house. My wife is friends with his wife. I went to school with the guy. He's Danny's Goomba. You got to do me a favour. He said, what is it? I said, I want to pass on with this guy. All I want to do is, I give you my word this. He won't see nobody no more. And he won't bother with nobody no more. You know what I mean? Don't go on Court Street no more, Pete. Please make sure you don't go. The only thing that's going to happen is this. Johnny, Gotti, is going to ask me to get in touch with you. He's going to call you. And he's going to give you a motherfucking cocksucking, I'm gonna maybe chop your fucking head off. I'm gonna do me a don't go near nobody. He's going to go into the riot act. That's the whole thing, Pete. Nothing else. And so, just over 3 years pass, and Paul Castellano is murdered in December 1985. And John Gotti ascends to the top of the Gambino crime family. In 1986, and as perhaps a final insult to the murdered Castellano, John Gotti reinstates Peter Tambone to the Gambino family. Peter Little Pete Tambone would die in 2001 at the age of 80. I've included the links to some of the books used for the research for this video in the description and top comment below. I hope you found that interesting. Thanks for watching.